There's something going on in London which is bringing a whole new audience to folk songs and folk stories. It's a scene that's concentrated in the east and southeast of the city, but we've come to the heart of the city of London today to meet one of the key bands from that movement, Goblin Band. Rowan Gatherer, Alice Beadle, Sonny Brazil, Gwenna Harmon are going to take us on a walk to find the hidden history of the city. They play all sorts of instruments, so I'm hoping there might be hurdy-gurdies, but who knows? Rowan, Alice, Sonny, Gwenna, good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
We're in West Smithfield, just up from the meat market, and in front of a really ornate entrance to Bart's Hospital. Why have you brought us here?
When I think about historic places in the City of London, this is one of the places I think of first. There's incredible, rich, unique history in London that's just so extreme. It's an extreme place, it's got extreme relics. We're standing at this intersection of loads of different things. There's modern capitalist London going on and humming right now in the background. On the hospital we've got the William Wallace Memorial, because he was executed on this site. Smithfield is the location where they used to have public executions. And Wat Tyler of the Peasants' Revolt in the 1300s was also executed here. The monument's very funny because it's got two different bits of text on top of each other, and it doesn't make sense when you read it in order. And then also this beautiful old hospital building is just completely pockmarked with blitz damage. So you've got an insane amount of layers of history all happening at once. There used to be a fair that happened here since the founding of the priory that we're going to go have a look at, and that was held every year in the summer from the 1100s till the 1850s, so the bloody Victorians. Sometimes they're really let's keep traditions going, and sometimes they absolutely spoil them, and it becomes so debauched. They said it promoted public disorder and debauchery.
They had freaks.
They had freaks. Monkeys. I mean, it sounded awful, but also quite important to the community. I think there's ways you don't need to throw the baby out the bathwater, or the freak out with the bathwater, I suppose, as it were, the monkey out with the bathwater. I'd throw those out, actually.
We're going to walk around the corner, aren't we, up that road called Cloth Fair. I love the names of roads around here. And Barley Mow Passage is just up there. And we're going to walk round to what I think is one of the oldest parish churches in the country.
There's quite spectacular churches in the City of London, but I think this is my favourite one.
This is St Bartholomew the Great.
Yes,
not to be confused with St Bartholomew the Less, which is actually just along the way there. And I got confused on my way here and went into the wrong one. But there's an old church, and you can just glimpse it through the archway, which they're renovating here.
Yeah, so we're going to go around.
So we're coming into the churchyard now, and the churchyard, with one or two rather ancient gravestones, is at a slightly higher level than the church itself. And this juxtaposition of the modern and the ancient, because we've got new brick-built flats with lots of glass overlooking this ancient church. And we'll go down the steps and into a ramp that leads down into the church.
It's got that smell.
Whoa,
Like a musty old book.
Very incensey.
I think that even the smell really...
You can smell incense, can't you?
Immediately changes your... with the visuals and the smell, you feel like you've stepped into another time.
There are some very fascinating, enormous, beautiful doors with a lovely latch. I love a good latch.
So there's I think it must have been a cloister of some sort.
Yeah, but it's because this was a priory before the dissolution, so they would have probably, I assume, been much more, probably would have extended more than it is now. We've got this really horrible Damien Hirst man that's really disgusting because St Bartholomew was flayed, so he's made this is Damien Hirst.
Damien Hirst, guilt, statue of
If you've
a
ever
naked
wanted
man.
to see a skinned penis, then you're going to love this piece of art.
Oh, lovely. What also is amazing to me is how large this is, because from the outside it feels quite hemmed in and overshadowed, but from the inside it suddenly expands, and the ceiling height is very high. There are archways going up in 3 stories of archways on the nave, and huge choir stalls. Alice, what does it feel like for you coming in here for the first time?
It's amazing space. It feels like there's a temperature change coming in here as well. It feels colder and very special.
Would you like to sing for us here?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've got a suitably Christ-filled folk song.
Okay, tell us about it.
We're all pretty much atheists, I think it's fair to say. Do you think?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we also sort of, being interested in social history and radical politics, it's like always this very mixed up and conflicting part of history and folk history, the power of the church and things like that.
There is a temptation among folk musicians, I think, to secularise a lot of songs. Like, a lot of people do that, which I think is fine, but we've never felt like we need to or want to. It's never like... There are lots of songs that I've changed lyrics to because they're like rancid and like misogynistic, but I've never felt like I need to change the lyrics to a song that is Christian, because it's never struck me as being any different to like when people are like, oh, we want to do pagan stuff. To me, it's just all kind of the same.
Because you don't have to believe in it to understand its place in history and culture, do you?
Yeah.
You don't have to believe in the sentiments of the song in order to understand that it was important to the people who were singing it in the 16th, 17th century.
It's just it's just another framework for connecting with the universe, basically, and one that is shared with the whole of society, more or less, in the past, where it was more of a dominant framework. But if you can't appreciate that was the way that people could connect with each other and the universe and the complexities of that, good and bad, then I don't think you stand a chance at really grasping the history of the place that you're in.
So what are you going to sing?
It's called Down in Yon Forest, or sometimes it's called Bells of Paradise. It's a folk carol. It's got medieval origins. We heard it up in the Peaks in one of the pubs. In different villages, they all have their own carolling traditions, and some of them sing this carol. We were able to hear it, around Christmas time.
Down in yon forest there stands a hall. The bells of paradise, I heard them ring. It's covered all over with purple and gold. And I love my Lord Jesus above anything. And in that hall there stands a bed. The bells of paradise, I heard them ring. It's covered all over with scarlet
this is the heart of the church, and this is like the part of the oldest part of it. This is established in the 1100s by this guy whose name's Rahir, and he was one of King Henry I's favourite lads. And it's funny though, because he's sort of confusingly described as many different things, one of which is a cleric, but another is a minstrel or jester.
So there's an effigy of him lying down there. This is grave, presumably, here, is it?
I think, well, when I was reading about it, it seemed like people weren't actually quite sure, but there is a folklore legend that somebody disturbed it and took one of the sandals with his foot in it and didn't return his foot, and so his ghost is said to reappear every summer. It was just something of July, and I was like, it's very funny for ghosts to have specific dates, isn't it? But
And on that bed there lies a knight. The bells of paradise, I heard them ring, whose wounds they do bleed both day and night. And I love my Lord Jesus above anything. And by that bedside there kneels a maid. The bells of paradise, I heard them ring, and there she do weep both night and day. And I love my Lord Jesus above anything. And by that bedside there flows a flood. The bells of paradise, I heard them ring, though one half runs water, the other runs blood. And I love my Lord Jesus above anything. And at that bed's foot there lies a hound. The bells of paradise, I heard them ring, are licking the blood that daily flows down. And I love my Lord Jesus above anything.
Alice, your violin playing echoing around the church was absolutely gorgeous. Do I detect a classical training?
Yeah, I am classically trained. Guilty as charged, yeah.
Do you change your style for playing folk music?
Well, I think throughout all of history, there's a dialogue. You can't ever separate it out. It's always a conversation, and I feel like that's true in my playing as well. I don't particularly change very much between them, because I think in a violinist, you've got to have all of the tools to make the sound you want. I love that song so much because it's a little bit of a mystery what's going on in it. It's so old that the narrative has been really lost to time, and when you're trying to do kind of historically informed performance anyway, you can never tell exactly whose ears were listening at the time. You can never know how they experienced the music and their experiences listening to it. You can never fully recreate that. but
You bring
hopefully you
yourself
can
to
think
it.
of it. Yeah.
You bring yourself and your own experience to it, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, they filmed a scene in Thor here once.
Oh, really?
Interesting bit of history.
Which Thor?
Oh, I can't remember. I think it was Ragnarok.
Oh.
No. Oh, I don't know. Who cares? Thor was here. What Alice was saying about interpreting the music and not knowing how it was done before, but having enough to go on so that you can do it, you know, your own way, reminds me of something that my friend Nick, who's in Shovel Dance Collective, said, a phrase that they used where they referred to it as act of solidarity across time, which is like a really pithy, like perfect little articulation of why you would be interested in doing that, because folk music talks about a massive range of stuff, but that's the root of it all, I guess. I'm just now going to work out which direction we're going, because it's not that far to the next thing. I'm just trying to remember. It's Postman's Park I was trying to get to.
Yeah, it's that way.
Gwenna, tell me how Goblin Band came into being, where you all came together.
So, in person, we came together in Hobgoblin Music Shop on Tottenham Court Road. We started...
Well, you were all working there.
Well, Sonny and Alice were working there at the time, and Rowan and Sonny had been playing a bit of music together since moving. Rowan moved to London and decided to start a session at the shop after working hours so that we could use the instruments that were there. So it's quite a nice way of like letting people just experiment with whatever they want. If they, you know, don't have an instrument of their own, they can come and borrow one from the shop. And that was really good fun. And me and Rowan have been friends for ages. We'd been living together in Devon. So I was like, I knew Rowan, and then Rowan knew Sonny, and then Sonny knew Alice, and then we all came together and had this session at the shop. And we were the people that sort of turned up the most, or like kept coming back.
And so what sort of instruments were you picking up there?
What did I like to play? I liked the low D whistle. Just like the little metal one that sounds just like has a really lovely airy sound, but they're really expensive, so I can't afford to get one for myself. But yeah, I would play that a little bit. And they have harmoniums that come in sometimes, and they have like pedal organs, which is actually like where I played my first pedal organ, and then that made me want to get one, and then I ended up getting one. So it has a really lovely place for all of us in terms of like being a source of inspiration.
I was hoping for a hurdy-gurdy. Do you ever play those?
They think they come in sometimes, but they're not like regular stock.
Where does the interest in folk music come from?
For me personally, it's an interest in history and an interest in like social history and people's history, and history that hasn't been told to us by, you know, an institution, but it's something that's kept alive by people being interested in it, or it being important to people for their own reasons, if that makes sense.
Of course, but how did you first get exposed to it?
How did I first get exposed to it? Through my parents, basically. They have a very eclectic CD collection, and a few of the CDs in there were stuff like the Watersons, and there's a really lovely music shop in Totnes in Devon, which is the town that I went to school in, and they stock a little bit of folk music and folk music from the area. So we had some CDs of people that were making stuff about the place that I was living in, and listening to those songs was like a really important way of connecting to the landscape of Dartmoor and like hearing about different villages and the folklore of those places. It sort of opened my eyes to like a new way of relating to place.
And it was your place.
Yeah,
because this is
exactly.
something I identify with too. You know, when I first sort of discovered folk music, as a teenager. It was about the fact that this was music that could come from where I lived,
Yeah.
not from America or
Yeah, of
anywhere
course.
else.
Yeah, I
But
thought
it
a
was,
lot of
must be
people.
quite an unusual thing for somebody of your generation to be doing. Were you different from other people at school and that kind of thing?
Yeah, but not because I like folk music. I was different because I was just weird.
Where are we now, Rowan? We've come into a kind of garden or park here, haven't we?
Yes, I've taken us through Postman Park. I can't remember why it's called Postman Park, but
It's because that used to be a sorting office.
Oh, well, that's way less interesting than the rest of the things I had to say about it.
So what are these plaques on the wall here? Do you know?
The park has a monument to people, ordinary people who sacrifice their lives saving other people. So most of these are from the 19th century, I think.
Let's just read some of them out. Let's just have a quick look. I mean, look at these. Herbert Peter Casali, stationer's clerk, who was drowned at Kew in endeavouring to save a man from drowning, April the 21st, 1889. Herbert McGonagall, schoolboy from Wimbledon, aged 13, his parents absent in India, lost his life in vainly trying to rescue his two schoolfellows who were drowned at Glover's Pool, Croyd, North Devon, August the 28th, 1882. Samuel Rabeth, medical officer of the Royal Free Hospital, who tried to save a child suffering from diphtheria at the cost of his own life, October the 26th, 1884. George Blencoe, aged 16, when a friend bathing in the Lee, that must be the River Lee, cried for help, went to his rescue and was drowned September the 6th, 1880. I mean, these are really poignant stories, aren't they?
Yeah, I like this one from Woolwich. David Selves, aged 12, supported his drowning playfellow and sank with him clasped in his arms, 1886. I think the thing that I was thinking coming through here, because I've always liked passing through every time I'm in this part of London, is this is telling the stories, the tragic stories of ordinary people, and those are not generally like valued or recorded in the same way that, you know, not extraordinary people in terms of like wealth and status
It's
are.
not like the generals on the plinth, is it?
Yeah,
Or the
exactly.
politicians on the statues.
These people don't
These
have
are just
statues.
people who are living regular lives but who did something very heroic.
Yeah, and they're named here, and what they did is recognised in a way that is quite special, and it feels like folk music can do the same thing. It's an oral record of events, and like sometimes there's specific people named that you can trace back in history, but most of the time they're not. But they're all still records of either actual experience or something that speaks to the actual experience of people who aren't around to tell it themselves, and it's an alternative history, it's a folk history. You know, that's one of the things that makes folk music so valuable, is that it's something, an alternative to what we're fed in schools. So I thought it would make sense to pass through here.
Of course. I mean, it's incredibly moving, actually, isn't it, to see these things?
Yeah, it feels like a reminder, like especially when you're surrounded by the insane London capital hellscape of like money making and massive buildings and like people suffering on the streets. It's this really poignant reminder that like all we have is each other in the end, and that we need to be like willing to die for each other if we're going to make the world a better place. And when you're surrounded by the product of the opposite of that kind of thinking is like, oh, other people need to die so I can make some money. It really makes it more powerful to see these people's sacrifices written down.
Shall we walk on?
Yeah, I will let me just get my bearings. It's not very far though.
I'm feeling the need of a song. Where are we going to do that?
We're going to go underground. We're going underground for the next one. We need to go under this massive weird thing, but let's cross. This is where the Roman Wall of London is preserved in like bits and bobs around the whole length of it. But there's the biggest bits of it, I believe, that some of the most impressive bits of it are right where we are now. And we should see some as we walk through here, but the bit I'm trying to get to is just down underneath this huge glass concrete building. This car park is our destination, so we need to walk round. That's bits of the Roman wall with lots of 19th century stuff on top of it, because some of the bits of the wall were part of modern buildings. We're going to go down. I'm going to go down here.
Down in towards this underground car park. So now we're actually going into the London Wall underground car park, which is, as you would expect, full of cars and looks like an underground car park. But I assume, Rowan, that there's something you want to show me in here that other than a row of parked cars.
Oh no.
This is
No. This is just my favourite car park in the City of London. But we've got to get all the way down the other end.
Okay. So here in the subterranean car park, we've now come across a bit of the Roman wall. It's between bays 52 and 54, and you could sit in front of it and sing, couldn't you?
I think so.
Is that why you brought us here?
The acoustics are quite interesting, and we'll find out how it sounds. But we've just got another quite old song that we've been singing at the moment. It's an old Scots song, I think, is again sort of talking about a knight, but in this one, he's already dead, and he's being eaten by crows.
Cheerful then.
Yeah, it's like one of those songs that's about scratching the a cappella itch.
As I was walking all alone, I heard two crows there making a moan, and one unto the other did say, "Oh, where shall we gang and dine in the day? Oh, where shall we gang and dine in the day? In behind yon old fell dyke, I know there lies a new slain knight, but nobody knows that he lies there. Oh, but his hawk and his hound and his lady fair. Oh, his hawk and his hound and his lady fair. His hound is to the hunting gone, his hawk to fetch the wildfowl home. His lady's taken another mate, oh, so we may make our dinner sweet, oh, we may make our dinner sweet. On his rib cage you will lie, while I pike out his bonny blue eye, with many a lock of his golden hair. Oh, we'll thick our nest when it grows bare. Oh, thick our nest when it grows bare. Many a one for him makes moan, for none shall know where he is gone. Over his white bones the beasts do gnaw. Oh, the wind shall blow forevermore. Oh, the wind shall blow forevermore.
glorious, and I have to say, you did pretty well there to avoid a car coming past as you were singing in this underground car park, but the one did start up in the middle, didn't it? But that sounded superb to me, sounded absolutely superb. Where next?
We're going to start heading south now, heading towards the Thames. It's all business here. All business. All the years that I've lived in London, I've always felt like a complete alien in this bit. Just walking past the Guildhall, which is an ancient spot in its own right, but underneath it is the Roman amphitheatre that they discovered. And you can see on the ground here this big curve in the courtyard that you're standing on now. That's the outline of the Roman amphitheatre.
So it's as if we've come out into where a Roman amphitheatre would have been, in this wonderful open space. Again, with the juxtaposition of the modern and the ancient, isn't it? With the church on the left. And then, what's that building on the right, do you know?
That's the Guildhall.
Guildhall, with the coat of arms of the City of London above it.
Yeah, so this is the seat of the office of power of the City of London. You know, there's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of like dirty dealings going on, and this is
surely not.
Yeah,
surely not.
This is the heart of
and then
the
modern extension here of the Guildhall Art Gallery. So this is the Guild Church of St Lawrence Jewry, the Church of the Corporation of London, that we're passing now with its great Palladian pillars. Out of Guildhall Yard and into Gresham Street.
We're trying to get to Cheapside, down here. Cheapside is where Thomas Becket was born.
Hey, Honey Lane.
Honey Lane,
Let's go down Honey Lane.
It's not as nice as it sounds.
It's between a branch of Boots and a branch of Massimo Dutti, actually. Honey Lane.
And
so I can see Cheapside at the end.
Yeah, but don't get your hopes up. It's not. It's not. London is all expensive side nowadays. There's a really fantastic. This is Mary Le Beau Church. It's a fantastic church. It's got a crypt place. We go down this
down
one.
This way. Down Bow Lane.
Yeah.
So, Rowan, do you think there's a new young audience coming to folk music now? Do you think when you're travelling the land, you know, because so often when I go to folk concerts, the people in the audience are a bit like me, i.e. white-haired. But are you playing to younger audiences now?
Yeah, definitely. We play for a lot of older folk audiences too. But I mean, we've come up out of a youth folk scene in London that is kind of, as it is now, it's quite new, and we were part of its sort of genesis, I would say, because there is a community of people that I can point to as being part of that. I don't think revival's ever really a very good word for it, but there's been a boom of people interested in it and engaging with it, doing it in London over the past maybe 5 years or so.
So this is associated with the Broadside Hacks.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. Shovel Dance
the
Collective and
House, which is closed now, I think.
It's actually just reopened.
Oh, has it?
Literally a month ago.
So tell us what that place was like.
The Matchstick Pie House was having folk sessions during lockdown and before, I think, and we started going after that. We were all getting really folk-pilled. The important thing about it is that it was run by young people for young people, but it wasn't exclusionary in any way, and there were lots of older people who would come too. You get people from so many different backgrounds coming, and that's what made it really amazing. And there was this amazing community that built up around it that intersected not just with folk music but also queer alternative music in London, because there was just a big scene for that also at Matchstick Pie House, and now they've come back.
Because of the intersectionality of that group and how the scene in London has emerged, we've done a couple of gigs now where it's been like a long bill with a bunch of bands, and the band before us has been like and then we've gone up and been like, all along, down along, out along Lee, and then the band after us has been
People are well
but
up for it.
nobody seems to be like weirded out by the fact that we're there.
They love it.
They think it's fine and great.
And those are some of the best
Yeah.
gigs. Because there's so much that punk has in common with folk music. And people can feel that straight away. And part of the reason as well that like young people right now are taking such an interest in folk music is because of the state of the world and how extreme everything is in terms of like capitalism's gone crazy, suffering around the world's going crazy, technology is making us anxious and miserable. We feel like disconnected from each other because of all those things, and people want to like reconnect in a way that is universal.
Can we just talk about your style as well, and the way you present yourselves and the way you dress both now and on stage? Who wants to speak about that? Gwenna?
It's all part of the same thing, really. I think a lot of people see us dressing weird and old and think that it's like a performance or contrived in some way, but it's an extension of the same reasons that we're interested in folk music and social history. It's like, you know, clothes can be so evocative of times gone by and such an indication of a certain time. And I think for me personally, I like wearing stuff that's well made and is made out of natural fibres, and historical clothing happens to be like that usually compared to stuff that you can buy in shops. And I don't want to like buy into the fashion machine of like churning out millions of things every day at the expense of people in other countries. It's a political choice as well as a stylistic one.
I think what you said as well about performance is interesting because it's like it's only as much of a performance as anyone else's fashion sense. Like we're all just like, that's the whole thing about presenting yourself. It's all a performance. Basically, it's all drag, baby. I mean, like.
Going to Widdicombe Fair, a jolly old cobbler I met there. And this old cobbler, his name it was Wax, and his old woman was old Mother Balls of Wax. Then there was Wax, old Mother Balls of Wax, Johnny and Jumping John, good companions everyone. As I was a-going to Widdicombe Fair, a jolly old fiddler I met there. And this old fiddler, his name it was Sticks, and his old woman was old Mother Fiddlesticks. Then there was Sticks, old Mother Fiddlesticks. Then there was Wax, old Mother Balls of Wax, Johnny and Jumping John, good companions everyone. As I was a-going to Widdicombe Fair, a jolly old tinker I met there. And this old tinker, his name it was Potts, and his old woman was old Mother Piddlepotts. Then there was Potts, old Mother Piddlepotts. Then there was Sticks, old Mother Fiddlesticks. Then there was Wax, old Mother Balls of Wax, Johnny and Jumping John, good companions everyone. As I was a-going to Widdicombe Fair, a jolly old tailor I met there. And this old tailor, his name it was Pins, and his old woman was old Mother Pricklepins. Then there was Pins, old Mother Pricklepins. Then there was Potts, old Mother Piddlepots. Then there was Sticks, old Mother Fiddlesticks. Then there was Wax, old Mother Balls of Wax, Johnny and Jumping John, good companions everyone. As I was a-going to Widdicombe Fair, a jolly old weaver I met there. And this old weaver, his name it was Cox. His old woman was old Mother Shuttlecocks. Then there was Cox, old Mother Shuttlecocks. Then there was Pins, old Mother Pricklepins. Then there was Potts, old Mother Piddlepots. Then there was Sticks, old Mother Fiddlesticks. Then there was Wax, old Mother Balls of Wax, Johnny and Jumping John, good companions everyone. As I was a-going to Widdicombe Fair, a jolly old baker I met there. And this old baker, his name it was Balls. And his old woman was old Mother Bag of Balls. Then there was Balls, old Mother Bag of Balls. Then there was Cocks, old Mother Shuttlecocks. Then there was Pins, old Mother Prickle Pins. Then there was Pots, old Mother Piddle Pots. Then there was Sticks, old Mother Fiddlesticks. Then there was Wax, old Mother Balls of Wax. Johnny and Jumping John, good companions everyone.
Get it right.
As I was a-going to Whitticombe Fair, a jolly old butcher I met there. And this old butcher, his name it was Rump. And his old woman was old Mother Rumper-Tump. Then there was Rump, old Mother Rumper-Tump. Then there was Balls, old Mother Bag of Balls. Then there was Cocks, old Mother Shuttlecocks. Then there was Pins, old Mother Prickle Pins. Then there was Pots, old Mother Piddle Pots. Then there was Sticks, old Mother Fiddlesticks. Then there was Wax, old Mother Balls of Wax. Johnny and Jumping John, good companions everyone.
The sun's come out now, and we've just come under a modern building down to the side of the Thames, and we're opposite the Globe Theatre. We can see the Globe Theatre across, and we can see Tate Modern just to our right, and we're just going to climb down onto the waterfront here to sing a song in front of the river.
Look how many bones there are already, just absolutely everywhere.
What have you found there, Alice?
So I found loads of bones that I'm going to, well, wash and then use. It smells good.
Every little bit of the foreshore of the Thames is different, but this is the first time I've been standing on something that is almost entirely bones and pottery that looks like most of it's probably medieval. Roof tiles,
It's quite a lot of coal.
storage pots. Yeah, there's a lot of burnt bits here. That's got a hole drilled in it.
That bone?
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's a person's done
Somebody's
that.
hip replacement.
And there's a lot of these oyster shells with holes in them. I mean, they're everywhere. Where we're standing now is this particular little piece of it. It's probably been a dock from the Roman times, and then it was a Saxon dock during the time of Alfred, when the old city of London was being repopulated after the fall of the Roman Empire. And then the name it has now, Queenhithe, comes from, again, Henry I, who we mentioned earlier in this recording. It's named for his wife, that queen, particular queen. And it's one part of London that's been more or less unchanged, although quite silted up over time. So everything that we're standing on now can be between, I mean, it can be from the Stone Age to now. But most of what we're seeing right now is from those 2,000 years of butchered animals, storage pots, bits of old house and industry, but it's all scrambled together. So this is like quite an intense cross-section sort of case study of what the Thames foreshore is like, but every bit of it's telling a different story.
It's amazing, isn't it, really, to find that connection, to feel that connection through history, just through the soles of our feet.
Yeah, we don't even have to, like, you can just look
dig,
at it.
Do we?
No, well, you're not allowed to, so so if we were doing that, we'll put that in the podcast. But right here, you can just see it. You don't even have to, like, try to see it. The docks in East London were one of the famous, like, terminuses for ocean-going industry and war. The British Empire has made it so that this part of London is an incredibly intense place historically, and we've got a song about that. But it's Gwenna's brought it to the band, but she's lost. She's just digging around, not digging, just figuratively digging. All right.
Look at all these things we've found here.
This is part of a type of jug called a Bellarmine jug, which was from the they were in the 1600s. There were a lot of them in London, but they were
1500s.
1500s.
Say it again. The 1500s, they were for carrying wine and stuff in.
But they had a picture of a guy's face on them.
They'd have a little man.
They have a little man's face on them, and we found the face once. We've got one on the boat, and my partner found the face. But this is the Catholics used to smash them, because Bellarmine was a Protestant man, and so they used to smash them. So there's loads of bits of them all over the place.
Gwenna, what have you got there?
That's from the past.
Look at these
Well, I'm going to line them up in order. So I've got this, which I believe is some Roman stuff. And then we've got 3 bits of medieval pot. Well, this is a tile, a decorated tile, and this one's really nice because it's got the fingerprints of the person that made it on the back.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll have squished that down, dum, 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 so you can feel. So it's quite nice to hold and put your thumb in there, a place where they would have used to put their thumb. And then some Staffordshire slipware. This I think is probably Georgian. That's Victorian. That's another piece of Bellarmine. And then this little decorated piece with some horse feet on it, which is very cute.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love the fingerprint.
Yeah, it's special, that one.
That feels like you're touching their hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very, like, trace of something really human that, you do have with the rest of them, but this feels much more close.
I think folk music's a bit like doing that with your fingers on an instrument, or your voice inhabiting the same words or the same tune. It's all feels like part of the same relationship to the past and connecting with ordinary people who would have made these physical and metaphysical artifacts.
That's the same reasons that I'm so interested in mudlarking is the same reasons that I'm into folk music. It's like an archive that is of the people and preserved by the people, and it's history that would otherwise be discarded.
Don't mind the rain or the rolling sea, the weary night never worries me, but the hardest time in a sailor's day is to watch the sun as it dies away. It's one more day on the grey funnel line. The finest ship that sailed the sea is still a prison for the likes of me. But give me wings like Noah's dove, and I'll fly up harbor to the girl I love. It's one more day on the grey funnel line. There was a time when my heart was free, like a floating spar on the open sea. But now that spar has washed ashore and come to rest at my true love's door. It's one more day on the grey funnel line. Oh Lord, if dreams were only real, I'd have my homeward bound. It's one more day on the great funnel line. I'd pass the time like some machine until blue water turns to green, and then I'll dance down that walk ashore and sail the great funnel line no more, and sail the great funnel line no more. It's one more day on the great funnel line. It's one more day on the great funnel line.
This is the Great Funnel Line, but there was a Thames tour boat going past in the background and an aeroplane going overhead. What an amazing day we've had. What a fantastic journey we've been on, and what new things you've taught me about the city that I've lived in for, like 30 years. So I'm really grateful to you all, and obviously for sharing your music with us as well, but for taking us on this great historic journey. Thank you so much, Rowan, Sunny, Gwenna, Alice. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Folk on Foot as much as we enjoyed making it. There are over 60 episodes of Folk on Foot for you to explore, featuring amazing artists like Eliza Carthy, Johnny Flynn, The Unthanks, Corrine Polwood, Chris Drever, Sandra Kerr, Catherine Tickell, and many, many more. So please do explore our back catalogue. And if you like what we do, we really need your support to keep going. You can become a member and get great rewards, or you can simply buy us a coffee. To do either, and to sign up for our ad-free version, just go to folkonfoot.com/support us. Every penny we get goes back into making more episodes, so please do support us if you can.